The Outsiders Project, giving voice to the unheard.
Hi and welcome to the Outsiders Project podcast. We show that people sidelined from society can write, perform and create work of exceptional quality. Find us on social media, look for the Outsiders Project Boscombe. And here comes the content warning. It's outsider art, so there's always strong content. I'm Nell Leyshon, the artistic director of the project, and today I'm interviewing Jimmy.
I'm Jimmy Burnett, and originally I'm from West London, Shepherd's Bush. I've kind of lived all around West London though. I come from quite a dysfunctional family. There was a lot of addiction and mental health. In my family, a lot of illness. But there was always love there, and I wasn't one of them people that felt unloved. But yeah, from the very beginning, really, it was just my mum got ill. She got sectioned, and that kind of left my dad to bring us up, and he didn't really do the best job of it. He tried his hardest, but things didn't work out. I guess regardless of all that going on, I kind of always, I struggled in life. I really struggled to communicate with people. I just felt different. I felt this. Looking back in hindsight, I just felt this emptiness in me. And I always tried to fill that with things. Around the age of 14, I found drugs, and that kind of did it for me. And pretty much from that very first time I took drugs, that was me. I was off and running, and that went on for a lot of years, really.
Did those years lead you to a lot of prison sentences? I think you spent quite a bit of time in prison.
I started. I think my first time in prison, I was just coming up to 16, and it was Feltham. And it was just strange, really, because again, the whole thing of not fitting in. I went into a jail where people were there because they were genuinely bad people. A lot of them. Not all of them, but I'd put on a face and act, try and be one of them, but inside, I knew I weren't. The only reason I was there is because of the drugs. It was funny because I grew up in prisons. So everything I learned, either come from prison or come from like crack houses. So how I saw life, and that was very, very different to how it actually is.
But all that time, did you have a sense that there was a different you inside?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, right? So if I give you a situation, I remember I must have been about 18. I was in Rochester, and I remember coming out myself for dinner, and there was a guy standing on the corner of it. So as you come out, you have to turn the corner to go to the servery, and there was a guy standing on the corner with a bowl, and I knew what it was. I knew it was. He'd had a bowl of boiling hot water with sugar in it. It was like I knew what was coming. I see the guy throw it over someone's face, and the guy, he was screaming, and all his skin coming away from his face. And I remember the whole wing just erupted, like everyone got like a buzz off it, But inside I was like, no, this is wrong. Do you know what I mean? But then I kind of felt, is there something wrong with me? Because why am I not reacting like them? So how I felt inside was it was confusing. Do you know what I mean?
I do. When did your writing begin? Because you started to write, I think, in prison.
Yeah, so really, it was only... See, because I've always loved music. You know, any kind of music, you know, any kind of music that, you know, reaches your soul and, you know, and you feel it, you know. But, so it's kind of something that I'd want to do. But it was on my last sentence, you know, I just started, you know, so you're in a cell all day with a crazy head. And I started having words come to me, you know, and I started thinking, well, where can I place these words? You know, what can I do out of this? So I started, you know, my first piece come from that, you know, I started putting words together and I found, I don't know, it just helped me.
But it wasn't as a result of any workshop that you did or working with anyone, it was just you.
It was literally just words floating around my head. You know, I thought, how can I connect these? How can I get these out? You know, when they started forming and I started making something out of them, I'm actually thinking, like, yeah. You know, from that I thought, you know, one day I'd love to, you know, do this and you know, show people what's going on for me right now. You know? So, yeah.
Brilliant. And let's hear a little bit of that very, very first piece now.
I am your addict. This dramatic actress that loves to practice his tactics in the back of your canister. I'm every relapse that hasn't happened yet. You think perhaps I'm an accident? The fact is I'm actually in the background actively planning it. I'm the lack of success that hangs at the threads at the back of your neck. Because when it's all done and dusted, I'm coming back just to cuss you for never cutting the mustard.
And it was such an extraordinary thing when I heard that and I watched you deliver it, to know you'd composed it orally, without paper and pen. And for me, that was really exciting because that challenges me. Because then I have to, how do I give feedback to a piece that I can't see on the page? Because, you know, because of being a writer, I always want to see it written down on the page. Yeah. So it's really exciting to work with you on that. And we threw you in the deep end again by asking you if you wanted to perform it. Yeah. One of our lock-ins, which is our really research and development R&D sessions that we've been doing through the pandemic. And you performed it, obviously not to an audience because we're working safely with COVID rules and everything, but you performed it to the other members of the project, the other outsiders. How was that?
It was one of them moments for me that I realised how much my life had changed in such a short period of time as well. You know, because I was out there lost for so long, you know, and I never thought I'd, you know, be standing there doing that and reading that out to people. You know, so yeah, it really was quite a beautiful experience for me. You know, it was like, yeah, I want more of this. You know, I want to do more. And, you know, I think I've got a lot of experience that I could use. Do you know what I mean? Again, to just try and tell people, you know, this is, you know, this is me. This is my, you know, what I've been through. And I wanted to kind of, you know, really bring in like the insanity and, you know, the situations, and sort of, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, they don't get to see that stuff. They don't really know how dark it gets. So it's kind of like me, you know, bringing you into my world again, you know. So.
Yeah, it did feel like you were opening a door actually into a world, in terms of storytelling, but also in terms of the way that you do it, the originality of the way you do it. Yeah. And when you were composing it, because when you read it, you have this very beautiful thing that you do with your hand. It's like a kind of C with your thumb and your first finger. Yeah. And as you're saying the words, and certainly when it's freshly written or freshly composed, you're doing that with your hand. What is that? How does that help?
That's me. It's me connecting it in my head. So it's kind of like the rhythm as well. But it's like I'm slotting the words into place in my head.
So it's like a game of Tetris or something,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And they're going in.
Yeah.
Can we hear something from that second piece?
In all my dreams it seems I keep on seeing demons, screeching, reaching for me, screaming. They've got me bleeding, pleading that they leave soon. But they're breathing down my neck, they got me feeling like I'm paralysed. I try to analyse these parasites with their undisguised hungry eyes. I'm unsurprised they come at night. I wonder why they come to try to suck the life from my body. Got me hot and off key cause they're robbing me of my sleep, so stop it please. These beasts have got me feeling for some peace. They're crawling up the walls and ceilings, floors are creaking, thoughts are seeping in my mind like faucets leaking. Try to stop the feeling that I'm sinking, thinking that I'm drowning. Down on the ground now howling, surrounded by hounds growling, while 1,000 frowning clowns surround me. I wake up drowsy, mind is crowded with distorted thoughts that torture me. Unfortunately they're taunting me, but more importantly I need to score some B cause this morphine calls to me. But first, I need to earn my keep.
Just thinking about how you sort of take the work forward, and my really obvious question to you from my fascination with how you compose the work is, are you going to have a go at writing on the page, or are you going to stick to composing in your head?
I think it would always be me composing in my head. I don't think that'll change. That's what I'm comfortable with. But I'm going to start to put things on a page and see where it goes from there. But it will always come first from inside my head, really.
Do you hear it? Does it come to you in your head, you hear it?
It's more like I see it. It's hard to explain. I see the words, but I actually see what's happening in that piece.
So do you see the clusters?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. I see them in threes.
So the clusters are in threes?
Yeah, they always come in threes. So they're going to have to...
Have they got colours or shapes?
I'm trying to picture it now. So, as I'm picturing it now, I'm picturing clusters. I'm seeing there's like a blue background and it's like dark brown writing. Strange, you know?
Dark brown writing?
Yeah.
On a blue background?
Yeah.
So when you're shifting them around and editing them in your head, you can actually move it as though you're moving text on a screen or something.
Yeah.
And you can actually move them around in your head, so to make the piece.
Yeah.
And then when it develops, so when the clusters develop into blocks...
That's when it changes. Because that's when I'm not seeing the clusters anymore. I'm seeing the situation. I'm feeling the pain. I'm feeling, that emotion. And from that's where more words come.
Ah, so is it that when the clusters develop into the block and the piece is finished, that then you can feel it?
Yeah. I mean, like, I can come to one word and that will just, again, it's hard to explain, but it will hit right with me. It will hit right, and I know where I'm going from there. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to get out. It's just finding the right words, the right pieces. Have a little jiggle about with them, and
Amazing. So I think what would be really interesting, Jimmy, is it possible for us to record the latest piece that you've done, the one that's closest to you, because at the moment it's a work in progress, and we've had some amazing conversations about how you get feedback and how you take that on board and what changes you make to it, because obviously it's not on a page and it's in your head. So if you don't mind, if you could perform that for us as it is at the moment, and I understand it may well change because it's in a process of development, but we're always developing pieces, that would be amazing. And just before you do that, Jimmy, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you.
No, thank you. My former pieces, I formed a thesis. Showed you my deformed diseases, distorted features. You saw the demons that haunt my dreams, and we explored the reasons I was torn to pieces. I gave you unorthodox warning shots and brought you with me scoring rocks. We toured the block, I tore the locks off Pandora's box to give you stories of an orphan lost. But today, we're going shoplifting. So throw on your parka jacket, pull out that half a packet of Marlboro, spark a fag and grab a grafting bag. But before we do anything,
I need to decide on one of my disguises. I kinda like the dark visors that hide the eyelids, a high vis and a white stick. After all, who pays mind to a blind kid? But today I pick a different look. I'm dressing mild, wear attire, hair is styled, accessorised with a pair of pliers for tearing wires. So now that I'm ready, let's go hit the shops. And when I get there I pick a spot and sit and watch the security for a second. I just saw him dressed in his fluorescent orange vest, but surely Tesco's could have brought a better, more effective store detective. He looks bored and restless, more interested in the floor I guess. Won't be long before he next goes for a rest. And that's when I'll rush in. But right now I really need for your nut to function as we discuss instructions. I want you all outside undercover, eyes hunting for disruptions with tunnel vision, and if something's fishy and doesn't fit or your stomach's iffy because it looks suspicious, then just listen to your guts and trust your instincts. It's a tough decision but fuck the mission. You must think quick, get stuck in and pull the plug on this shit now. Wish me luck kids. I'm going in. So now I'm inside, determined to earn with a permanent smile because I'm nervous inside, but it serves as a guide. I'm alert as I'm swerving the aisles. I then gradually gravitate to the alcohol where I'm happy they've just restacked the place. Blood pressure climbs at a dramatic rate. I salivate and start grabbing crates of Grey Goose. I take 2, then select some Glenlivet. Take a second to check and see no one's next to me, then aggressively start collecting Hennessy. They tend to be expensive, see? Then tenderly I commence to leave. So now I head for the exit. And after the alarms bark, I scarper to the car park. But where's the fucking car parked? Where's Mark? Don't tell me that stupid prick has moved the whip. I knew that he would do this shit, useless kid. I need to find a solution quick. So now with a thumping heart, I dump the cart, but before the running starts, I'm pummeled hard, tackled down to the ground. So now they've got me gripped, it's on top I'm nicked. The shop assistants have got my body twisting, I lock my wristing, odd position, stop resisting, I'm not you dickhead. Next thing, I'm getting dragged through the back room by some tattooed fat dude in a black suit. He tells me to wait right here, be back soon. But where the fuck am I going? He comes back to the room accompanied by 2 coppers. They tell me to cooperate and ask what's my name. I ain't got a lot to say but still offer a made up alias. They look me straight in the face and says, mate, if you had a brain you'd be dangerous. Jimmy, we know what your name is, you're basically famous. You've become a pain in the anus to every chain of retailers in an 80-mile radius. We've been building cases against you for ages. We've got statements from Sainsbury's and tapes of you taking House of Fraser's fragrances. Basically, mate, you fucked, the game is up. I'm placed in cuffs and taken straight to Scrubs for 18 months.